Welcome to Let's Talk About It, co-hosted by Maria Wyatt and Scott Dudley. Presented by Imperial County Behavioral Health Services and brought to you as a podcast by KXORadio.com.
Good morning, Imperial Valley. You're listening to your weekly wellness radio, Let's Talk About It, with Scott and Maria. We are brought to you by Imperial County Behavioral Health and KUBO 88.7 Radio Bilingüe.
So pull up at the stoplight, put down your iPhone, and listen in. Good morning. Yeah, exactly.
Good morning.
Good morning. 760-337-887 is the phone number. And, of course, catch the podcast if you can on KXORadio.com. This would be a good one to save.
Yes, it is. And just before we start everything, today is the ice cream social here in El Centro.
Really?
Yay. Yes.
You showing up?
Maybe.
Rolling in with the troops? The troop?
Depends if I get out of work on time.
Okay, good. When is it, this afternoon or this evening?
Yeah, this evening.
Huh?
This evening, so. And I bet you the fire department's going to have with the water and everything and ice cream and
it's not blazingly hot. And it's warm.
But it's nice.
You ain't getting around that.
It only got to 100 yesterday. 102 or something like that.
Not blazingly hot. It's just, and it's July, so we'll take it.
So don't forget, bring the kids.
The rest of the nation bakes and broils, so it's starting to hit the panic button.
You know what? That really, it bothers me. I mean, it doesn't bother me, when other cities have 100-degree weather and
they're just going off the cliff.
I know, it's like catastrophe. And we're over here, what was it, 2 weeks ago or a week ago? It was 117 degrees, 121.
But it's kind of like off-road vehicles. And we've got like a lift kit, and we've got like four-wheel drive, and we've got all this stuff to deal with the heat. And they're running around in little two-wheel drive Nissans or something. And so when it gets hot, they're just not ready. They don't got 5-ton air conditioners. They've got like a little fan, and they're like, whoa, now I'm cooking.
Maybe they need to start buying ACs.
Yeah. No, my daughter's in Michigan, and it was 100 degrees there the other day. And I said, and everybody's like just really screaming about it. It's making national news. And I'm like, so how hot is it? And she said, well, it's kind of like recess when we're in school in March. I'm like, oh, okay. Not so bad then, huh? No.
I know.
Not so bad. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And let's jump into an hour of smart recovery. We're here today with Dee and Susan. Dee and Susan are certifiable. They are certified, stamped in wool, guaranteed, good, approved, smart recovery facilitators. Morning, Dee. We'll start with you. Morning, Dee.
Good morning, Scott.
There you are.
I'm here. Yeah, Dee and Susan and I are two of three of the facilitators here in the Valley. We're the only 3 facilitators in the Valley at this moment. And, we're certified. We went through our training, and we love what we do.
So let's start with, what is SMART?
Exactly.
I know. It's like, wait a minute. I'm drinking bottled water with
Smart Water.
Has that.
Is that you guys? You guys are the Smart Water people?
Yes. No, we're not the Smart Water people. SMART is actually an acronym that stands for Self-Management and Recovery Training. And basically what it does is it helps train people gives them the tools to fight through their urges, to get past their addiction and change their behaviors so that they can live a drug-free, alcohol-free, addictive-free life.
Drug-free, alcohol-free, addictive-free. Does that mean like shopping and gambling and all that stuff? Or?
Anything.
It works for any kind of addiction?
Yes. One of the main things that brought me to SMART is the fact that all these tools that they teach the participants are tools I've used my entire life. And I've never been lost in drugs or lost in alcohol or lost in gambling or eating habits or anything of that sort.
Fast motorcycles. Anything like that.
Oh, is that your motorcycle out there?
Yeah, well, it's my husband's motorcycle, but no, it's just one of those things. I think because I use these tools is one of the main reasons I have not fallen into that. I'm able to manage. That's one of the parts that we deal with is managing your happiness and your balance in life. And I've done that because I've used these tools without knowing that they were tools. So that's pretty much what we deal with.
Kind of weird we never got a class in that, isn't it? I mean, like self-management 101 or something?
Yeah, it's kind of a life skills kind of thing, and I managed to pick it up on my own, but there's a lot of people that cannot do that. So it's one of those things that we're there to teach them how they need to go forward and what steps they need to take. And I've actually seen
Smart Recovery support people recovering and staying recovered.
Yes. It gives them a guideline to go by, and if they get an urge, or if they end up in a trigger spot, or it helps them decide what they need to do
play.
next.
Ready to play? You like doing this stuff. Let's do this stuff.
Well, no.
Okay, I got an urge. What happens?
First thing is you try to figure out what triggered your urge.
My smartphone just beeped that I have a really interesting tweet. No.
Basically, is there's certain tools. You keep an urge log. That would be one thing, is you'd write down every time you had an urge. Another thing is, if you get that urge, you spend that time and write it out. You sit there and realize, okay, this urge is really strong right now. Okay, it's getting stronger. Okay, maybe it's letting off. It's called riding the wave.
Can you ride those out, or do they?
Oh yes, you can ride them out. Most definitely. It just takes some thinking, and it's more than just like, say you or I could just, okay, we don't need to do that. They have to concentrate. Addicted people have to concentrate a little bit more on, hey, I can do this. I can wait it out. Okay, it's getting less. Okay, good, it's done. And then they write it in their urge log, or they find something else to do. It's a matter of, and then they weigh out the options. We do stuff called the cost-benefit analysis. They weigh out the options of whether I should use, where I shouldn't use, what are the benefits, what's the cost.
Now, are these tools? Can these tools be? Is it somebody that goes to one of the smart groups, and they're there because, okay, I want to change. Or is it somebody that can go there and kind of, well, let's see how it is. You know what? I don't really have a problem. I'm just gonna.
But my wife made me go.
Or my parole officer made me go. My probation officer made me go.
We've got
whatever.
Yeah, we've got people in
Does
all
it work?
ranges.
Yeah.
In all ranges. We get people that don't even want to be there. Period. They'll come in and they'll say, "I'm only here because they're making me." They don't want to be there. They'd rather be somewhere else, and they hide in the corner.
Getting high somewhere else or drinking. That's what they'd probably rather be, getting high or drinking.
And when it comes to the probationers or the parolees that come in, they've got a 12-week course. And by the end of but the first week, they're kind of in that corner and they're to themselves. They don't participate. By the end of that 12 weeks, they are helping with the newer ones. They're involved, and they've made a huge change. This is why I'm saying I've watched the participants grow and learn from it.
Now, do they, after they finish the 12 weeks, do they still stay? Because it is the Smart Recovery, it's the support group, correct? It's also a support group.
Some of them do still stay.
Wow.
Some of them do still stay. And they're working really hard, and they've seen that Smart has made a big difference and a change in their life. So, yeah, we do have some that stay. Some can't fit it into their schedule. They had a hard time fitting it into their schedule to begin with. But we still have the online support, and they're welcome to come anytime they want. But, yeah, they do come back.
Tell me about the online support. I like online stuff. How's that work?
SmartRecovery.org has a chat room. You can go on and chat with just anybody at any time. And they also have the online meetings, just like face-to-face was what Susan and I hold. But it's online, and they can do voice or they can just do text. But it's the same thing we do. And then there's somebody always there 24/7. So, like, if one of our participants can't get a hold of us, they can always go online, and there'll be somebody there for them to talk to and walk them through or guide them.
It's like a whole community, right? They're pretty much always accessible.
Oh, absolutely.
You just have to have a computer,
though. That's true.
Do they have a mobile app yet? Yeah, I was going to ask.
Smartphone. It's not a mobile app, but you can still access through internet on a smartphone. When I was doing my training, I got stuck somewhere, and I was able to access my training online, and it was through voice. I don't know how I managed that, but it did it. So.
So you've got this big online community, and now you've got local Imperial Valley recovery groups in the community.
And that's that's great. We're very limited on resources here in the Valley. especially with people who have drug or alcohol abuse
or other addictive problems,
or other addictive problems. There's not a lot for here in the Valley. Therefore, there is some faith-based services, but a lot of people, some people don't want to go through the faith-based. You know, they just want to, or they don't want to go through AA or NA. They'd rather go through another direction, and probably Smart Recovery is this option.
That's one of the things I really love about Smart Recovery. It encompasses everybody. At Smart, we believe that each individual finds his own path to recovery. For some, that may include a 12-step program or a faith-based program like Alcoholics Anonymous or NA. Well, here at Smart, our approach differs from them. It doesn't exclude them. I mean, if you want the religion aspect in your recovery, it's more than welcome. But we don't lean on that. You know, we deal more with the behavioral aspect and changing the way you behave rather than and your mindset rather than leaning on a spiritual. If that helps you, then yeah, go for it. Bring it. Let it. Anything that's going to help you, let's do it.
It's like more you're empowering them.
Yes.
You give them the tools, they take them, they use them, and they're empowering themselves.
Some of our participants still go to NA and AA meetings. They use it to continue their path to recovery, and it helps make them permanent. We don't say, hey, you know, this is it. We're just another choice. You know, there's so many different things out there. But if this works for you, great. If NAAA works for you, that's wonderful. I'm glad to see it happening. But if it doesn't, come try Smart or something else that we have out there. Smart is just another choice. And I really love Smart. I do, because it deals with it in a different aspect. It's like it goes around and reaches something that I don't think's really been touched before as far as the behavioral.
And like you said, it's tools that anybody can use.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, that we can both use, you know.
Everyone.
Somebody that has an impulse, you know. I have a lot of people that like to shop, and I mean.
You were just shopping in your head. I saw your eyes kind of rolled back.
This is a guy. They like electronics, the newest thing coming out, the new iPad, the new iPhone, the new plasma TV, the new Blu-ray thing, the new game, and it's like, okay, you know. Do you have the money? You know, is it? You know,
so
there
is
would
this
be
a shopping problem, or is this an electronic stimulation problem? Because there's
electronic stimulation problem. I don't know.
It doesn't matter the problem. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. Exactly. In your everyday life, everybody, you, me, you know, you guys out there listening on the radio, you guys can use these tools as well. In fact, half of you probably already do. You know, it's just you sit there and think, is it worth it? Can I afford it? How's it going to affect my family?
The pros, the cons.
And then you have to write out the urge.
if it's something you really want,
commercial.
Really probably should.
Yeah, it's on the commercial, the new TV. I'm like, oh, there's the urge. I need to go get it.
I think I'll just go paint instead or something.
Walk into Costco and see the TV that's actually bigger than the width of your living room.
Did you see that one? 80-inch. The 80-inch one.
I did. I'm like, well, I'd have to tear down the door frame to get it in the house.
They have it at Best Buy too, and I was like, "Ooh!"
I know. I could hear little angels in the background when.
Hey, wait! That guy's as big as I am.
You're describing an urge pretty well, right?
Yeah. You want that TV so bad, but you've got to talk yourself out of it, and that's the same thing with. You know, the addiction. It's we lean on the behavioral aspect and how to go about that. You know, and I've seen progress, big progress through it. So I'm extremely supportive of it. Obviously.
What do you see in going through this? What's kind of the biggest challenge in getting this going in the community?
I think it needs to be more word of mouth. I think there are not enough people that know about Smart Recovery and what it does and how they deal with it. And they're used to hearing AA, NA. And like you said, some of them don't want to deal with the religious aspect and the faith-based, you know, and so they close everything off because they think everything is religious or faith-based. But Smart is new. I mean, it's not new. It's been around since '94, but
here in the Valley, it's pretty, I mean, relatively new.
Yeah, it's new here, and I think just if more people knew about it, they would actually try it, at least try it. Come to 5 meetings. If it doesn't, you know, if you don't fit in, That's fine. Let's try something else. We'll help guide you somewhere else.
What if they don't have the money?
There's no money. SMART is free. There's the big one right there. SMART is a nonprofit organization. And
Literally, they don't make any money.
No. And us as facilitators, we do this on a volunteer basis. We don't get paid for what we do. We do it because we want to help others.
You're helping the community.
Yes.
You are a big part of the community.
Yeah, we get 2 people in the room pouring 10 to 20 hours per week, I'm imagining, at least, into the community for free. And that's like a stand up and stop and recognize moment, because that's incredible. That really is special.
We have such a high rate of drug use and alcohol use.
Yes, we do.
And
other addictive behaviors.
No, yes, you know what? Yes, gambling. I have
Casinos don't help.
No, oh my gosh. There are so many casinos that are open in Mexicali. So many. So
you can gamble on a smartphone. Come on, stop.
Yes, you can.
Yes, but I mean,
it's
it's incredible. In the last maybe year in Mexicali, they popped up, and I mean, there's probably, I don't know.
Really, like
easily,
one on every corner or whatever, like 7-Eleven?
Most likely, yes,
really?
yes. I'm not joking.
I know,
it's scary.
I can tell you're not joking.
And they put up those casinos like within weeks, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're up. It's bad. So, yeah, and there's so much. I mean, we're right here. We depend on our economy is so it's not very good. It's not good across, and there's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of alcohol use. There's a lot of other addictions, and to know that Smart Recovery is a option, it's a resource, and it's free.
Absolutely free. Another thing I like about Smart Recovery is not only do they help you with your addiction, but as you're trying to move forward in your life, it helps you with your life. It helps you decide on where you need to go and helps you better your life. So you're not just dealing with your addiction, you're dealing with your life. Because a lot of people start their addictions because they've fallen or they're struggling or they're stressed or...
It's the environment, something's wrong.
Exactly. You're talking about our economy and other things. And a lot of them, they've lost their house because it got foreclosed on. And in this economy, it's happening a lot. Mm-hmm. So some of them turn to alcohol or turn to drugs, and this kind of helps them move forward, not just with the addiction.
From where we come from, we see kids that grow up with just enormously stressful lives, and by the time they're teenagers, they're coping with using substances. Their brains are more susceptible in the teenage years, and we see a lot of, and they're missing the school and the other parts because of all this chaos and coping that they needed to be successful anyway. And we see that as being kind of the recipe for disaster.
It is. That's unless they learn these skills. That's a huge thing. Like I said, I've used them my entire life. I just I saw them, I learned, but a lot of them don't do that. Especially today, they're so stressed with, whatever schoolwork or the football team. There's a lot more pressure today on these kids than I remember being in high school. And they don't get that chance to sit back and look and watch and figure out how they should do something. They're just kind of pushed along, and they'll turn to whatever's handy to help relieve that stress. And so
SMART helps them put their lives back together in addition to just directly helping coping with the use problems.
Very much so. I've been told by some of the participants their families are trusting them more. They're seeing because you see the change. I think I talk about with Susan all the time and some of my other friends, one of the biggest things to me is that aha moment, when somebody goes, oh, wow,
okay.
Oh, if I take care of this, it's not going to cause me any more problems. Wow.
Or they did a specific tool and followed through, and it was like, oh yeah, okay.
The cost-benefit tool.
Yeah.
That's really like, okay.
Well, and just yesterday I did something called the hierarchy of values. And I wanted to motivate my participants. It was huge. So we had done the cost benefit, and then I thought, okay, let's do a hierarchy. The thing here is, you guys, real quick, and you out there in the audience, pick 5 things that are most important in your life. Just off the top of your head, just 5 things. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with addicts, those 5 things they list are stuff like, or even you guys, family, myself, my job, my house, it's my children, etc. Rarely ever does somebody list their addiction in their hierarchy of values. There's the huge one.
So
right
when you're
there.
like down to your last 5 minutes of life, and you're kind of reflecting on, you get a chance to reflect if you're lucky on all the cool stuff that happened. You're not going back and thinking about partying.
No, that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about the time
your
that you spent
family.
with your
Whoa,
family.
dude, that concert.
So one of the main things is, unless they're in recovery, they're already moved past it and they're recovering. They don't list it because they'll list recovery as their first when they're in it. But to motivate them,
Because they get their life back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference. But when they're first starting and to motivate them, I ask them what their 5 are. And that addiction's not in there. And then I'll write the addiction off to the side and I'll say, okay, so you're willing to risk, and I'll cross out their home, their family, their job.
Ouch.
I said, you're willing to risk these 5 most important things in your life for the gambling or the drugs or the alcohol.
Oh, that even hurts me right now just thinking about that.
It's a very visual thing, and it's an emotional thing.
Yeah,
and
it hits you in the gut, I bet.
Yeah. You realize that, hey, you know what? These drugs really aren't that, or this alcohol is kind of important in my life. Why am I doing this?
And putting it center stage front and top billing.
Willing to risk what you find most important.
Over and over again all the time.
Yes.
Even for people that have lost, because there's a lot of people that go probably to Smart Credit, they've already lost their home, they've already lost their family.
Their freedom, they've been in jail.
And they still, they still put their family first, even though they probably already lost them. But they haven't lost them, but they can still get it back.
But see, and that's another thing we talk about. They need to come first. Mm-hmm. They can't help their family. They can't be there for their family or their kids until they fix themselves. Them and their recovery comes first, and then they work on their family, and that's where they get their family back, and they move forward. So it's you've got to think about yourself in the long run. As a mother, you've got to sit there and think, well, if I'm sick, if I don't take rest, I'm going to get sicker. How can I take care of my kids? It's same thing.
So smart recovery sounds like it starts with self-management in terms of managing the problem-causing thing as soon as that is determined to be a problem, I suppose. But then it goes on and it starts talking about you're always self-managing yourself, and you're self-managing yourself for the things you want most in your life.
Right.
Those 5 things that you're going to sit down at the end of the day, at the end of your 5 minutes of life, and go, wow, these were cool things, and I'm so glad I got to do them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm really excited to see some of this stuff happening. I want to see more of it in the Valley. I want to see more smart recovery meetings, more smart family meetings, more, just people that know about it. I want to get it out. I want word of mouth. I want people that, if I say, hey, I facilitate for smart recovery, I want them to know what it is. Well, what's smart? Mm-hmm. That's what I get most of the time.
Well, Dee, we're headed right up on a break, and some people may not be able to come back after break. Why don't you give some information on people to get contacts? They can say they heard it from Dee, and then you'll know that you've been around today.
Well, we have 2 meetings in Brawley.
Okay.
They're at 2:30 and they go to 3:15. We have those at the courthouse on Wednesdays and Fridays. 2 to 3:15. What did I say? Okay, I'm sorry. At the courthouse at 2 o'clock to 3:15 on Wednesdays and Fridays. Here in El Centro, we have a meeting every Monday from 4:30 to 5:45 at the Behavioral Health at 1295 State Street on the 2nd floor. And I thought we had one more on Tuesday. Yeah, we have another one on Tuesday, same place. It's our family and friends support group. This is, I guess you could say it's close to Al-Anon. It's our version of Al-Anon. It's for your friends and family to help them help their addictive
because
family
friends
members.
And family need to self-manage too.
Yes, they do. Yes,
they need to be supportive.
Supportive, but not enabling.
Not enabling.
So that one's held on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5:45, the same place in Behavioral Health at 1295 State Street here in El Centro. But those are our meetings.
And
so
clearly
far.
people can go online, and then if they go online and check with the website, are they going to be able to bounce back to local meetings yet?
Yes. They'll tell them about our local meetings. Again, the website is smartrecovery.org, and you can get any information you want through there. It's actually a really great program.
Okay, so after the break, let's come back and we'll kind of go through what a little meeting sounds like and talks like and feels like, and give people a chance to sample that if they're able to stick around. This is Let's Talk About It. We're sponsored by Imperial County Behavioral Health Services, and we'll be right back after this short break.
You're listening to the complete podcast version of Imperial County's Behavioral Health Service, Let's Talk About It, brought to you by KXORadio.com.